The case file has been delivered. We have studied the data meticulously over the course of many long nights. Your demand is to understand, and understanding is a price few are willing to pay. We shall speak tonight of the architecture of self-deception, of the psychological gravity that pulls a sane man into a hell of his own making. You believe you are a victim of a person. You are not. You were a victim of a pattern. And the pattern, once identified, reveals a most terrifying truth. You were a volunteer, not to the pain, no, but to the illusion that made the pain tolerable. The illusion began with a manufactured construct, a saccharine sweetness that arrived too quickly, a performance of perfection rehearsed to a mirror before you ever walked onto the stage. You fell in love with a fantasy, a fiction she narrated expertly, with a surgeon's precision. This was not a romance, it was a purchase. She traded in illusions. Each promise was a transaction, a means to secure your devotion and your role in this play. The audience, your love, your kindness, your capacity for deep connection were not qualities to be cherished. They were assets to be hunted, assets she needed to sustain her hollow existence. She was not looking for love, she was searching for sustenance. The weak, you see, cannot sustain a parasite for long. Only the strong provides sufficient nourishment. And you, in all your strength and loyalty, were a feast. Then came the indoctrination. You spent 7 years being molded, shaped, trained to accept life. This was not simple. It was a systematic campaign designed to make you doubt your own perceptions, your own memory, your own sanity. The gaslighting was her masterpiece of cruelty. It taught you to fear her displeasure more than your own. It taught you to value her presence over your own peace. She would accuse you of being paranoid, of being crazy, of being too sensitive whenever you dared to trust your own instincts. Your healthy suspicions were transformed into unreasonable demands. You were a prisoner in your own mind, convinced that you were the source of the chaos. Your loyalty was a virtue she weaponized against you. You made a vow you never adhered to question your sanity before questioning your honesty. You were bound by the chains of hope, a hope that she would change, that she would improve, that she would one day honor her promises. This hope was your shadow, keeping you anchored to a sinking ship. You were not blind. Your intuition was skewed. You simply chose silence. And why? Because you were a man who wanted to be chosen by someone and only choose after discard. The discard, when it came, was not about your will. It was about her necessity. The addict had secured a new being. She found someone new, a fresh audience for the same script. And why? Because you had become inconvenient, a living rebuttal to her narrative. You began to question. You began to set boundaries. You began to hold up a mirror of your own one that showed her not as the goddess she pretended to be, but as the hollow, frightening thing she truly was. She discarded you because she feared you, because your growth threatened her stagnation. The pain that followed was not merely emotional, it was a physical and financial pain. You lost your net worth, you lost your peace, you found yourself exhausted with cold sweats and a spine like live wire. This was not a punishment for your past. This was a form of psychological payment for a life that was never yours. She didn't just break your heart. She anchored your soul to her emptiness. Your pain was not grief. It was dark magic. A soul bond, violently severed, leaving you tethered to her chaos. Every moment of weakness, every nightmare, every tear you shed was her torment. She wants you suffering, to know that somewhere you are still hers to torment. But this is not the end of the story. This is the end of the lesson. You survived what she designed to destroy you. The sleepless nights, the confusion, the doubt, these were not signs of your weakness, but proof of your humanity. You held on to something she could never touch, your core sense of what love should be. You are not a victim. You are a graduate of the most brutal curriculum on human pathology. The very fact that you needed such elaborate deceptions proves your strength, not your weakness. Lesser men would have broken sooner. Weaker spirits would have surrendered. You persisted. Now, the crucible. The same fire that reduces wood to ash tempers steel. The unbearable loneliness became the cocoon for your reinvention. The betrayal taught you discernment. You are not defined by the pain she inflicted, but by how you rose from the ashes. Your peace is your power. Your happiness is her haunting. Every achievement you attain, every moment of peace you claim, becomes her torment. Your silence is not defeat. It is the final diagnosis. You are now dangerous. Not because you seek revenge, but because you've become immune to her particular brand of poison. You cannot be manipulated twice by the same spell. You have developed antibodies against deception. You have built fortifications against future predators. You have transformed from prey into apex predator yourself, not of others, but of your own destiny. Now go. Do not waste energy on curses for your tormentor. Go and let your success be the only revenge you ever need. Let your peace be the loudest statement you ever make. Let your joy be the final word in a conversation she thought she controlled. You are free. Not because she released you, but because you chose to release yourself. That power, that freedom was always yours. Lesson over.